Hello, I'm Shakur the Diesel, and welcome to my first top 20 list. In this top 20 list, I'm going to count down my favorite episodes from Thomas and Friends. Well, the classic ones. I'll get to the CGI later. Just to let you know that this is going to be a two-part episode. In this first one, we're going to count down from number 20 to 11, and part 2 will be 10 to 1. So, let's not waste any more time. Here are my top 20 favorite Thomas and Friends episodes from the classic series. Number 20, Trusty Rusty. In this episode, Rusty comes to a damaged bridge, and he goes out to warn the engines, including Sir Topham Hatt. Of course, Duncan being Duncan, he doesn't listen to him and goes to the damaged bridge in order to get to the nearest bunker to get coal. When he gets there, he runs out of coal and the bridge starts to collapse, and it's up to Rusty to save him. What I like about this episode is it reminds me of Toby's Tightrope, and in a better version. Plus, I really like the voice Michael Brandon gives to Duncan. Granted, it doesn't sound like much of a Scottish accent, but at least he's trying, unlike that other narrator. Overall, Trusty Rusty is a pretty good episode and really is a perfect start to this list. Number 19, Faulty Whistle. In this episode, Duncan has to take a couple of goods to each station. While he does that, he loses his whistle in the middle of a field, and his driver said they can't go anywhere without a whistle because it would be too dangerous. The headmaster had an idea. He'll play the organ like a whistle whenever they get to the station they need to go. What I like about this episode is, well, I just thought they had a pretty good idea using the organ as a whistle. Even though it doesn't almost sound like Duncan's whistle, but hey, at least it's a good idea. And even though I don't like Alec Baldwin's voice as Duncan, he does a pretty good job. I've also read that this episode is based off of a railway series story, Mike's Whistle, and I actually like that. I think it's a good idea to show one more railway series related before going to new changes. So, Faulty Whistles is one of my favorite episodes from Season 6. Number 18, Fish. In this episode, Henry is taking the flying kipper, and Duck is serving as his back engine. When he gets on top of the hill, the tail lamp falls off, and Duck can't see it. What I like about this episode is it takes back to another episode about fish, and of course the flying kipper. And this time, it's Duck's turn to learn about what fish can do, instead of Thomas, as he warns him. Seriously, Thomas needs to get over his fish. It happened one time, and it won't happen again. What I like about this episode is, it was Duck who didn't get in trouble, and Sir Topham Hatt knew it wasn't his fault. That was actually kind of great. It was great having at least an episode where the engine didn't get blamed, and it was their fault, not them. Chew on that, Sir Topham Hatt. Oh well, with that being said, Fish is a really good episode, and really deserves the number 18 spot. Number 17, Henry's Forest. In this episode, Henry goes to a forest, and it's his favorite place. During the storm, the forest is knocked down, and he is really sad. So to fix this, Toby has a couple of trees and replants them in the forest. What I like about this episode is, I can really feel for Toby. I mean, think about it. Have you ever had a special place that you love, and then when it finds out that it's ruined, have you ever been devastated? That's what I thought. Plus, I've also read that the head writer for Season 17 did the magazine of this, which helped them get the idea for this episode. So who knows, maybe he will do good in Season 17. Although, I'm not going to raise my hopes up, because I hear people saying this is not technically one of their favorite episodes. But I beg to differ. I can really feel for Henry and what he's going through. And this episode is just really beautiful. Number 16, Down the Mine. Now keep this in mind, this is so far probably going to be my only episode from Season 1. Keep that in mind. Anyway, what I like about... Alright, in this episode, Thomas is teasing Gordon about the time he went into a ditch, and then he finds the danger sign. He knows he's not supposed to go past it, but he does it anyway like a jackass. And then he falls down the mine, and it's up to Gordon to rescue him. What I like about this episode is, well, I like how Thomas is taking the risk, but sometimes, you should really listen to signs and everything. But does he do it? No. Actually, sometimes I don't know why I like this episode. I guess I just like it that's it, for no apparent reason. Oh well. And now everything is silence. Let's get to the next number. Number 15. Train stops play. In this episode, Stephanie is taking some cars. While he does that, some men are playing baseball, and the ball hits one of their cars. So they have Caroline go after Stephanie in order to get the ball. What I like about this episode is George Carlton's doing Caroline. He really does the way he gives her the voice is really funny. You couldn't help but to laugh at it, and also feel sorry for her. She wants to go home and rest because she's just an old car, but those guys are being such douchebags. If they wanted to get the ball, couldn't they just use Bertie the bus instead? Oh well, but then again, if you did that, we wouldn't have a plot. So anyway, Train Stops Play is a really good episode, and another good mention. Number 14. Thomas Meets the Queen. In this episode, a queen is coming to Sodor, and Henry was supposed to pull the train, until paint was dropping all over him. So now it's Thomas' Gordon's turn to do the jobs. Thomas has to fetch the coaches, and Gordon will take the queen to the station and from home. What I like about this episode, so is sometimes, you can be forgiven on something that you've done in the past, and you're really sorry that happened. I mean, that's something like I would do. If I did something really wrong, I feel really ashamed, and I promise I would never do that again. Oh well, but for whatever reason you like this episode, Thomas Meets the Queen is a really good episode. Number 13. Put Upon Percy. In this episode, Percy is fed up with work because he's working all day long, but he still has to continue to work. The next day, he shuns some cars in the mine, but the cars were out of control, and this causes an avalanche where Percy dies. I'm just kidding, he's saved. What I like about this episode is I can really feel for Percy. Sometimes when I'm at school, I feel put upon about the schoolwork I'm given, but I know I have to do it if I want to get out of high school and get a college degree and go to college. Plus, the avalanche and the theme used for this episode was really genius. Number 12. Jack jumps in. In this episode, Thomas has to take a new machine named Jack to work at a construction zone. And Jack becomes really excited and doesn't really pay attention, and jumps into a work he wasn't supposed to do in the first place. What I like about this episode is, I like Jack as a character. Out of all the 2 packs I have to choose for this, I chose Jack's Jumps In, because I can really feel for him. Sometimes I'm jumping into a work that I'm not supposed to do, but I do it anyway, because I think it's a good job for me. Then I screw up. So I can really feel for Jack in this situation. Plus, well, he's just an all-around good character. Sure, he made some mistakes in the past, but hey, he's a good machine with a heart of gold. So, Jack's Jumped In is a really good spot for number 12. Number 11. Peace and Quiet. In this episode, a new engine named Murdoch comes to the island of Sodor. He's a really big engine, and he doesn't like noises too much, and he wants peace and quiet. What I like about this episode is Murdoch as a character. Again, like school, I want some peace and quiet so I can relieve the stress I'm getting from some people. Sometimes I don't get that. In fact, I rarely get it when I'm at school. But when I do, I feel really calm and relaxed. Plus, Murdoch as a character, I really like his design. He has a really nice design. So, Peace and Quiet is one of my favorite episodes from Season 7. Well, that's it for the first part of the Top 20 list. Stay tuned, because next week we're going to continue to see what other episodes are my favorites. If you want to make your own list, go ahead. I'm Tim. I'm Shakur Diesel. And I'll see you all next time. Take